It feels retaliatory. I personally think it was retaliatory.
That's the director for the Iowa Department for the Blind. She thinks Iowa's Department of Education was out for revenge when it ended a long-standing agreement to produce educational materials for children with vision impairments. Now, the reason she was vocal about the prisoners, in some cases, registered sex offenders released on parole were having access to student data.
Our KCRG TV9 I-9 investigative team broke that story in February after getting emails from a public records request to the governor's office. I-9 reporter Ethan Stein joins us now live in studio to show us how the director for the Department of the Blind believes this latest change is a form of revenge.
Beth, Jim, about 4 months after our story aired, the Department of Education told the Department for the Blind it was ending contracts paying the department to create educational materials like textbooks for students with vision impairments. Those contracts were worth up to $800,000. Dollars the Department for the Blind is now scrambling to find. First name, last initial, birthday, and mailing address. That was the information the Iowa Department for the Blind in email said prisoners had access to. Months later, the Iowa Department of Education made a change to that program, ending contracts worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
The timing is very coincidental. If it's not, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's very coincidental timing.
Those contracts guaranteed federal funding to produce vision-impaired materials for Iowa school districts. Ending the agreements means school districts have to order and pay for materials themselves. Warren says she looked at having to use gifts and other funding sources to keep affording employees to produce materials schools need. She calls it a headache.
To cover the billing of it and to scramble to get districts to understand what's going on.
The Department of Education says it made the changes to give schools flexibility to pick a vendor of choice and get materials quicker. But in a Zoom our I-9 team found where the department announced the change, it emphasized consistency and accountability with local educational agencies called LEAs.
The LEAs currently provide other formats such as audio, digital, and closed captioning when students need them. And so we're adding Braille, large print, and tactile graphics just to increase the consistency.
It's unclear how many students this affects. The Iowa Department of Education told us only 39 districts use the program. The Iowa Department of the Blind says the number is around 67. Warden says it's more proof the Department of Education's approach to blind students is careless.
It just seems like there's such a lack of concern for the quality of the materials given to blind kids. That would never be acceptable for sighted kids.
The Department for the Blind won't have to use donations to fill the budget hole. After we contacted the Department of Education, it sent a one-time extension to keep it running for the moment. We asked both the Department of Education and Governor Kim Reynolds' office, which oversees both agencies. Neither has responded yet. Live in studio, Ethan Stein, KCRG TV9 News.
Thanks, Ethan. Now, if anyone has a concern that our I-9 team should dig into, you can call that I-9 tip line 319-399-5928, or you can email newsroom@kcrg.com.